Hello, friends. We prepare two types of financial statements at the end of the specific period. It could be half month, it could be a quarter, it could be even monthly, or it could be on an yearly basis. Mainly two statements in the sense income of financial performance, that is income statement, statement of financial performance, that is income statement, and statement of financial position, that is known as balance sheet. These are the two main statements which we prepare. Remember, income statement is prepared at the end of the specific period. It denotes the financial performance of the business for the specific period. It means it will record only those income and expenditure heads which are incurred or earned for the specific period only. Whereas the statement of financial position, that is nothing but the balance sheet, doesn't have such kind of limitation. It may record something which is relating to the future period. It may record something which is not, I would say, not yet received or not yet paid. It means non-cash outstanding expenses. It means non-cash in the sense they are not yet paid, or non-earned. I would say earned but not yet received. Not received income, that is due but not received, outstanding income. These kind of stuff are also recorded on the balance sheet. But income and expenditure statement or income statement or statement of financial performance will record only those income or expenses which are pertaining to that specific period only. Keeping in mind this, let us take an example of outstanding rent and prepaid rent. Not only rent, I would say outstanding expenses more appropriately, and prepaid expenses. All of you know that expenditure is nothing but something in which there is a cash outflow. Whenever you pay something or promise to pay something at a future date, it becomes the expenditure for your business. Let us take an example of the rent. Rent of this month is being paid on the first of the next month. So the rent for the month of January will be paid on 1st of February. Rent of February will be paid on 1st of March. Rent of March month will be paid on 1st of April, and so on and so forth. Remember, let us take an example of rent is paid exactly on due date. So the current month, for example, which is going on is December. So December month, when you are going to pay on 1st of January, you will pass the journal entry rent account debit to cash or bank account, thereby a normal routine journal entry. Now let us take the second possibility. You have not paid the rent on due date. It means you are supposed to pay the rent for the month of December on 1st of January, but you have not paid that due to one or the other reason. You just communicated that person that I am not able to pay this on 1st. But does it mean that you will record the transactions only when you pay the rent? Or that person will record the transaction only when he or she receives the rent? Not like that, because ours is not a cash system of accounting. It's a mercantile system of accounting in which accruals or outstanding are also recorded. So on 1st of January, if you are not going to pay the rent, you will pass the entry rent account debit to outstanding rent account. It means you are going to record the expenditure on due date, irrespective of whether you pay or don't pay. You are going to record that. So the entry will be rent account debit to outstanding rent account on 1st of January. Now let us suppose that you pay the rent on 10th of January. On 10th of January, you will pass the entry outstanding rent account debit to cash or bank account. So if you pay it exactly on due date, you will pass the entry rent account debit to cash account. But if you don't pay it on due date, then there are supposed to be the two entries. One on due date showing that the expenditure has become due. Entry passed is rent account debit to outstanding rent account. And on the date of payment, outstanding rent account debit to cash or bank account. Ultimately, if you club it out, that outstanding rent account gets cancelled, and the only entry which remains ultimately is rent account debit to cash or bank account. In the sense, if you pay on due date or if you pay after the due date, ultimately the journal entry going to be the same. But if you pay after the due date, you are supposed to bifurcate it in two journal entries. Number one, for showing the expenses have become due, and number two, when they are actually paid.